Oh.
I would only date a millionaire.
What?
3, 2, 1.
I mean, they're all gonna say no, what the fuck? Yeah?
Hell no. The person I want to date, I want to be able to show them, you know, all those experiences firsthand. Like, I've been with girls who have money, and it's like the worst thing ever. Like, for example, like the one thing for me, and it's a test I do, is like, for example, if a girl knows how to get into my car, like my Lamborghini, like you have to like specifically know how to open the door. I specifically let them figure it out. If they figure it out, that's the last date.
Seriously?
That's the last date we're going on.
I want my husband to be like a really good dad and be like morally
Chat, what am I watching?
correct. And if he doesn't have a lot of money, you know what, that's fine. I don't know if men really are comfortable with that, to be completely honest. From my personal experience, they're not. They want to be the ones providing, which kind of sucks. But, you know, personality and morals and like their mindset is way more important than money.
I feel like money doesn't define a person at all. Like if I'm going to date you, it's for your personality, not your looks, not your money. I don't care. From personal experience, money has absolutely nothing to do with a relationship.
So I agree with you guys, but as a woman, I don't want to be the one paying the bills and taking care of their house. And so for me, like, you don't have to be the richest person in the world, but if I'm going to be a millionaire or multimillionaire or whatever it is, I at least want to be the person that encourages you to do the same. But I don't want to be, I've had it done before, and it's been the most exhausting thing, because it's like, you can be the sweetest man ever, but if we go out and I'm paying for everything and I'm doing everything, it's too much. That's why I'm just like, I somewhat agree that I need you to be a millionaire, or at least be making enough money to where I'm fully taken care of. And then we can be a powerhouse together, like Beyonce and Jay-Z. So.
I think a lot of the times it's different from a girl's perspective versus a guy. I think girls want to be taken care of. I think that's a beautiful thing. I've always just been the one to take care of girls and pay for everything. I think as a guy, you should be doing that.
But I mean, on this topic, my point is you brought up something saying, oh, if the girl doesn't know how to open up my car door, I wouldn't even date her. I feel like, you know, I feel like
Crypto entrepreneur. Got it.
I feel like, you know, I feel like it's ever so selfish, because you feel like, oh, I want to get happiness by making this girl, you know, spending money on her. But at the same time, I feel like the only binding factor in your relationship is money at that point, right? Because if you stop providing money to her, then she gets used to that lifestyle. Then she's like, okay, I'm going to find someone else.
The reason I say that is because I wasn't looking at it like a sense of like that, but more like getting used for it. Like, girls will want to go on dates with you because you can take them to that dinner. You know, they want all of that. So I feel like that's very common that they will.
Chat, when I see that, chat, guys, I don't want to be judging Andy. It makes me feel like it's like guy who had money before, who got all in on like fucking like Ripple or Tron or some bullshit fucking coin that skyrocketed and then pulled out like instantly when it did good. And it's like, bro, I'm basically Warren Buffett. I get it. You guys are brokies. I'm busy Warren Buffett. So back the fuck up. I'm a crypto entrepreneurial. Like,
use you for that. And it's like it's a thing I'm scared of, you know? Like, it's happened to me many times. So it's like, I said it like that and it sounded kind of crazy. And everyone was like, oh, what the hell? But like, you know what I mean, you know? Like, it's common. Girls will only come to you because you have the Lambo, because you make the money.
This is kind of like me for real. When he talks, my brain starts to self-destruct.
And they don't care about you, like me. You know? So that's what I was kind of going at. I like a girl who just doesn't care about money at all, you know?
Something that I do whenever I meet people is I don't tell them my name. I don't tell them my Instagram. I don't want them to be able to search me up, know how much money I make, know where I live, and know the lifestyle that I live, because that's how I avoid people using me for money.
Yeah, I have 2 different Instagrams, so like.
What? Me too. Me too.
I have one Instagram I'll send to them, and like, if, you know, it's kind of test, you know? If they look through it, there's no cars, nothing flashy. It's like me and my mom and like Marshall's clothing. And like, if they with that, like, then we go on, you know?
Yeah.
No, I actually have a rule. If you know who I am, you're officially like off the list. Like, I cannot talk to you at all. Because
oh my God.
What happens is
Poor guys.
In the past, like when I've met guys and they know like what I do, we'll go out and I'm like, okay, we're going out to dinner. You know, I look nice and everything. And then they're like, so do you know if you could teach me how to trade? Oh. And I'm like, okay. And it's just like dread the rest of the night.
There's no way that's happening.
No.
Like, there's a guy
He
that
like pulls out like a notebook.
It's
He's
like
like
the
ready.
number one thing. My name is Kelly OG, and I am the biggest secret that you've probably never heard, which is okay because it's a secret. My net worth is about $20 million.
What do you think makes you a great entrepreneur?
My relentlessness to never give up. I've never believed that I couldn't do anything. Even in the cases where it was probably not the most likely, I've just always worked towards it, saying one day it's gonna come, and I think that work ethic and tenacity just continue to compound and roll over and snowball itself into what I have.
That AP's a little bit too loose. I just have to take a couple links out of that. Look at how loose that shit is. Look at that. Jesus Christ, bro.
Tenacity just
What the
continue
fuck?
to compound and roll over and snowball itself into what I have today.
It is easier to make money.
It's so loose. It's not AP. It looks like it, is it not?
3, 2, 1.
I'm sure it is.
Go.
My
What?
mentor
What? It is easier to make money if you're white.
is not white, and he's worth $204 million. So I think I've seen it firsthand. You know, most of my friend group is not whites, and they do very well for themselves.
I would say you're almost an exception with what the majority is. I think
Okay, yeah.
majority-wise, if you look at just the demographic of the United States, you know, whenever you think of trust fund babies, whenever you think of houses in the Hamptons, whenever you think of that luxury lifestyle, it's not usually the black demographic or people of color.
Chat, did outliers and no evidence are really bad in an argument or when you're trying to make a point? It's like saying, well, racism isn't real because we had a black president. And it's like, okay.
In general. For example, when slavery was a thing, white people had a 200-year head start to start their businesses, to set up their families for success and all that. So when black people finally had the opportunities, which was not until recently, 1965, to really be in the same rooms as white people, you're looking at a large discrepancy in time and success and achievement. So I think just naturally in general, white people are taken as more serious because of the stereotypes that have been put on people of color. So that's where I'm like, I agree with that statement, not saying that people of color cannot be successful, but just saying that it's more likely for someone who is white to have better opportunities than someone who isn't.
I mean, maybe in past generations, what you're saying is 100% true, right? If you're based on race, people perceive you differently. But I feel like now this new generation, you can become wealthy from the internet, right? Like you're in Forex, I'm in crypto. I don't have to have any face on the products I create. It doesn't matter what race I am because if they don't know who I am selling the products to them, I don't think it's at, valid as a point today than it used to be in previous generations.
I agree. Your face doesn't always have to be tied to it. So
Chat, these crypto bros, dude, it doesn't matter, dude, if I'm white, black, or Asian, I'm on the blockchain. It doesn't matter. I'm decentralized, bro. Oh my God, dude.
I mean, she changed my mind a little bit because I feel like I was a little bit too harsh because you did make like a really good point. Statistically, you were 150% correct. Like you were right. But I think in my firsthand experience, just the people I've been around, a lot of them are not white and they are successful. So that's why I was like all the way to the right now, like here.
I think we forget that not everybody's job is online and not everybody's job you can hide behind a screen, and most people work everyday jobs in person doing, customer service where people have to look at them. So I think if we're talking about if it's easier to make money as a white person, I would say yes, because applying to jobs, most of the time, if they go into an interview and they're a person of color, they're probably less likely to get that job than a white person. And also, a white person is probably gonna get paid more than a person of color. We've seen it in the statistics, so I think it is easier to make more money as a white person.
I think two things specifically. For one, although I'm right here, Indians make the most amount of money in America when it comes to any racial demographic group, which is great, so shout out to the Indians. But two, with that being said, I remember when I started my business, I had a very in-depth conversation with my father, and he said, Jay, if I were you, I would highly recommend staying behind the scenes and letting a white man run the business because they get along with people a little bit better than we do, just because people don't understand Indians. But even in that, you could develop yourself to be a great CEO regardless. I mean, there's huge companies in America that they're all ran by Indian Americans or Indians.
Starbucks.
I mean, whether it's Google, whether it's Microsoft, I mean, these are all ran by Indian Americans. I'm Jay, I'm the CEO and principal of O'Dare. A quick 30 seconds in regard to who I am. I started programming at the age of 9. At 11, I started freelancing. I got my first contract with a local salon to build their website. And then at 14 is when I got my first large contract with a Fortune 500 company. At 15, I dropped out of high school to pursue my agency full time. And at 18, I moved to Dallas, Texas. I'm originally from.
Oh, is that legal?
I'm Isabella, and I am a designer, entrepreneur, and reality TV star. I started out on reality TV on the show Toddlers and Tiaras. I was 6 years old when I was named one of the youngest self-made millionaires, and I really loved fashion, so I created my first brand, which was a suit and blazer line, sold that to JCPenney for private labeling, started a jewelry company where you win accomplishment bracelets. I created House of Bready, which is now my global business, which has made me more than $1 million now. And I'm also writing a book called A Teen's Guide to Business to show people how to become who I am today.
I have flaunted my wealth. 3, 2, 1, go.
She said, what?
I was bullied as a kid, so flaunting my wealth was kind of my way of saying, hey, I made it. And then kind of looking back at it, I wasn't as satisfied as I thought I would be. Like I thought like, oh, I got the Lambo, and like everyone's like, oh my God, you know?
I agree, and like, I feel like I don't flaunt it, but like, I've worked very hard. So if I wanna post my nice car, I'm gonna post my nice car because I made the money to buy that. If I wanna post me buying something at Gucci, I'm gonna do that because I worked hard for that. It's not flaunting, it's more of like self, you know.
You're proud.
Yeah, I'm proud of it, exactly.
Do you ever feel guilty doing that? Because sometimes I
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
Because my like, yeah.
Oh my.
Like I agree with you on the I used to get bullied like crazy. I just feel I feel
looking
guilty.
at?
'Cause I'm like some people.
It's just because it's just it's how you do it, and it's the
25
amount of
They won't have
the
this
density of it.
opportunity. Maybe they
I think
will,
it's
but
about the
I just,
density.
my mindset around it, I feel bad sometimes. But at the same time, it's not like we're trust fund kids. We worked for it.
Anyone have a trust fund?
Chat, it's all about the density of it, okay? If you always remain the same, I don't think it's a problem. Chat, anytime growing up when I bought something, I'd post a picture of it all the time. Doesn't matter what it is, right? If that ramps up, so be it. But the density doesn't change. Who gives a fuck? Why? If the behavior is the same, why does the results change? If the intention is the same, it doesn't. It doesn't.
I wish.
No.
It's like
No.
Kind of an
what is the
antisocial
fuck me
person
for?
because I was forced to be like that as a young kid because people did not like me, they bullied me, they did not want to spend time with me. So I guess that kind of molded me into being like preferring to be alone. It's hard to find like-minded 18, 19, and 20-year-olds.
And actually, I was gonna say, being in this room right now, that completely, I was like,
that's like the
you know
first
what?
time I don't feel lonely. Like all my friends are 24, 25, 26,
Yeah,
27.
I'm the same way. Like,
Same. Oh my god.
They're all about to
Older
have like kids, and I'm
My friends
like,
are getting married.
yeah, you
I'm
know?
like, what the?
And like this is like the first time
is
I've been able to have
Yeah.
like a educated conversation with someone my age. Like usually an 18, 19-year-old's like, yeah, dude, college party, man, tonight,
Chat.
like, let's go.
Chat, the thing I disagreed with the other girl earlier, okay, and you guys got mad at me for disagreeing with the girl, okay, is that it's important to build a strong intrinsic value in yourself. So the value that you have isn't related to other things that you have or things around you, okay? So things that are your value within you, the way you see yourself inside. That's so important, dude, because when you have that, it doesn't matter what's out, you'll still be confident and whatnot, and that matters a lot. That matters a crazy amount. And needing to have all these things all lined up for you to feel good or feel fulfilled, that's a problem. I don't agree with that. That is a problem.
You know,
No,
but
I
this
feel
is like
lonely in that sense too. I think when it comes to actually having friends,
Because then life is gonna fuck you over. Getting old will fuck you over because then you won't look as good. A bunch of
xQc
life
out.
will overall grinds that down. And the only thing that will remain is who you are and the value you give yourself.
because there's always a difference. I mean, if you're talking about, it gets to the point if I want to hang out with my friends, then I'm the one paying for everything, and it's a really difficult position for me. Like one of my biggest prayers that I've been praying for like the last.
Anyone can make themselves a millionaire. 3, 2, 1, go.
Really?
Oh, that's
Think
just.
so?
There's so much free advertising, YouTube,
I mean, the reason why.
everything.
Yeah,
What's
go
your
ahead.
Is he
argument
not
to
on
say
kick?
that not everyone can make themselves a millionaire? Is it the like non-equality thing or like
Well, I think-
resources?
If you really look at the likelihood, you have to make $1,000
Chat.
1,000 times,
I'm gonna keep it a buck.
which is just
Chat, I used to be so disagree with this take. I think it depends how absolutely. I think it depends on the type of things you want to do. I think these days people come from nothing to make something with just a phone and TikTok doing the dumbest shit to ever fucking come out. And I think that has value. I think that's possible. I get it. It's not for everybody. Nobody can do it, and I get that. So it's like it's not everybody.
To make $1,000 1,000 times, which is just insane. Like, I think everyone can try their hardest, but you won't always get the right exposure to have $1 million put into. You won't always get the right opportunities. It's easy for us because we've done it to be like, well, I did it, so anybody else can do it. But there are many people that do exactly what we do, but yet you are in the position you're in for a reason. There's a lot of people that build apps and have like a company surrounded by that. There's a lot of
Chat, didn't Nico make a full career out of OK Boomer, which is a 9-second TikTok of OK Boomer, OK Boomer?
people that have done crypto and now their lives are in shambles. There's a lot of people that have done drop shipping and it was the worst thing they ever did. There's a lot of people that have built different companies and it was next to nothing. And there's millions and millions of bloggers on YouTube and it's amounted to nothing. Even for me,
I'm just saying there's a lot like that.
And I'm like, it's gonna be very hard for you to get to where I'm at because I traded and built a company, but to trade to $1 million is insane.
But it's still possible for them to do it, no?
It's possible, but to say...
Okay, this guy is cooked. This guy is, listen.
It's gonna be very hard for you to get to where I'm at because I traded and built a company, but to trade to $1 million is insane.
But it's still possible for them to do it, no?
It's possible, but to say anyone...
But here's the thing.
Chat, let me make a very fucking good analogy. Chat, please listen to me. Don't let yourself be discouraged by these dumb fucking cucklords, like these guys who are saying, oh yeah, everybody can do it. If you go to the fucking roulette table, okay, and you have one chip you can put on the one number out of 32, okay, and you lose, okay, for you, you only have one chip. So these guys have like 800 chips. And they bet one chip, and they can try because they have the cushion of their parents' money or some other shit that cushions the fall, and they can keep trying it. And then one time a chip lands and they win on that one chip, and they say, well, all you needed was one chip and one bet, and boom, I mean, you got it. Yeah, no shit, you fuckwad. No shit. Most Americans have 0 chips. Okay, some are lucky enough to have one. You have multiple. Stop comparing yourself with people who have 0 when you have over. You can do over and over and try again every time. It's not fair. It's stupid. Don't be like that.
Looking at it as
don't be like that.
Anybody can. You
know?
Mean,
the reason why. I also think I'm very privileged, to be honest with you, because I have like my mentor. He comes from like the projects, and he's worth 9 figures. So for me, I go, if he came from that circumstance in life.
But I also think that most of us are in the US and that's where a lot of money is made, but a lot of people don't get granted a visa to come here. Think about the people that don't have internet. They don't have the library to go to get the internet. And also think about the people that from their family situation, for some reason now they're homeless. And in order to, people always say, well then get a job, but in order to get a job, you need to be able to have a home address and not everybody has that. It's just those little things that we don't think about to even get to that first step of getting a job.
But here's the thing, right? Like you were mentioning earlier, you're basically saying that, oh, people's lives are in shambles because of crypto or Forex, but it's very rarely the mistake of external factors. It's because they did a mistake along the way, right? They were too reckless with their research and they just dumped all their money into it. I feel like the reason why I'm here, I wish there was maybe another is because I feel like it is possible, but depending on your circumstance, it could be exponentially harder, right? If you're like someone from like Ethiopia.
Here's the daily tech chat. The luckier people got to get to where they're at, the delusional their takes are. Okay? The more luck it takes, the more delusional what they say is. That's just how it is.
PO has no internet access, for instance, and of course it's going to be so much harder, but it's still possible. I mean, if you like... I don't know, I'm not that...
say, like, it's easier, because I'm Nigerian, I recently just came from Nigeria. They get paid like $100 a month, and that's insane to them. So I feel like if you're going to say, okay, well, if you don't have internet access, it's still possible, give an example of how it's possible.
I know someone who's actually Nigerian, but then there was a public library he went to, which was like 3 hours away, and then he created a cryptocurrency from that. So while I feel like to say it's impossible is too much, because I believe nothing in this universe is impossible.
No, that's
There's
true.
always a certain extent where something can be achieved. I think, you know, even the most crazy situation.
So what this guy's saying is that the guy that had one chip, he didn't invest it on the right spot, and then I mean he has to take accountability for failing if he's poor because he didn't invest on the right thing. Haha, what a noob! I did 800 and I got one. This guy, he made a mistake.
Which is 99.99% impossible, but nothing's 100% impossible, right? So I feel like to say there's a type of person that can 100% can't be a millionaire is very rare.
But it's not about making money. There's a certain type of person that a millionaire. That's
a crazy
completely
thing to say.
different.
Yeah, but anything's possible.
I think, okay, if somebody asked you, right, to put it in your terms, what is your prediction for Bitcoin, for example? You wouldn't tell them anything's possible, it could go to 100 million.
No.
You would actually back it
going
up
to
with
100K.
actual like facts and statistics as to why. So when I think of just logically thinking, can anyone become a millionaire? It's like, you want to
BTC to 150K within 10 years.
back that up. And if you say, I mean, yeah, they really get paid and they don't live in a house and they're eating and drinking water from a river, but anything's possible. It's like, where do you think somebody's going to magically come down and be like, this is how you're going to get from this level to that?
I think it's also a mindset. I think truly it's a mindset. Like, you have to be mentally strong enough to go through the work, put like your all into something.
Pause. Can you choose a side, if you can?
This is a hard question.
Go through the work.
No, I'm staying in the middle.
Defend it.
There you go.
I mean, I just haven't done research on third.
I mean, this comes out as very dismissive. I mean, people are like, oh, dude, you have to put in all the work and shit like that. And they're like 16, 17. I don't mean to say like you cannot put hard work when you're young, but like, you're a data outlier and you're like either lucky or spawned in lucky or a lot of external factors when you have the privilege to say, yo, dude, because most people, they can't have that at 16, 17. They have to work and grind to get a certain cushion that they can play with, and they could do something with it. Most of their money is going to survival. Of course, you can have disposable money and income, but you don't have to fight for survival. Okay, most Americans, most people, have to take care of surviving. That's just this is just privileged. I'm sorry.
Countries, but if you. Like, it is possible, like, again, you may have to take that 4-hour walk to that pop-up library with, like, one antenna or whatever the case may be. But again, it's possible.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, she shifted me on this side because what she said is 100% true. You know, it is theoretically possible, you know, just, even though it isn't anyone can become a millionaire, you know, because, like, even 0.001% chance, let's say you have the worst situation possible, even though, you know, it is theoretically possible, in a real world scenario, that's not true. It's like saying, you know, what's the probability you roll a dice and then it lands on the edge instead of any other number, while there's like a really small probability. At the same time, you can't say, oh yeah, it's possible, you know, because it's such a small chance, which is why I'm more on this side now.
Yeah.
Chat, guys, this is a tutorial on how to be grateful for the things around you.
You need to be grateful because in some countries, like even for China, like they don't have Fortnite.